Hey guys, so in the previous video, which was the part one video, I took you through the basically the structure or architecture which is required to fetch the GHL access token or access code and then create a GHL OAuth token out of it, and basically how the database backend database should look like for storing the access tokens and refresh tokens. In this video, I'll just take you through the pseudocode. In the previous video, I already showed you the database structure and also some sample data. So I'll take you through the pseudocode on how to handle the first time OAuth token creation and how to keep refreshing tokens. So those are the two functions which we'll be looking at over here. So as soon as the first time the form is submitted for with the access code and the location ID, you'll grab these and you'll use these to create the GHL auth token and the refresh token. These other two fields are not important. So this is the first API which we will be using for getting the access token or OAuth token and the refresh token. So I've already taken out all of the confidential credentials or data. So yeah, you'll have to put it in the client secret, and client ID needs to go over here, and we'll be accessing the OAuth token endpoint. Okay, so once we get the response, if there is error in response, then we'll send back the error message to the user on the form. Otherwise, what we'll get is we'll get the access token in response, we'll get the refresh token, and we'll also get the location ID. So with location ID, we can ensure that the location ID which user gave us matches with the access code which we used to generate the OAuth token. Okay, so that's the first part. You will be able to get the access token and refresh token, and then you just store this in the database. I'll show you how to store it. Also, you can ignore the commented out code. It was used for another project, and it's just sitting over here. So next, over here, let me just have a look at what we are doing. Okay, so we are making sure that the request that came in is not for a duplicate location. Okay, so if it is a duplicate location, then we'll give the appropriate error back to the front end, and then finally we will insert the data. We'll do the data insertion. So we'll connect to the database. We have the GHL token expiration time. So this is a little less than 24 hours. I think it is 22 or 23 hours. So I will be refreshing my tokens in 22 to 23 hours, whatever this translates to in terms of seconds to hours. So this is the expiration time which I'll be saving, and this goes into the database which I had showed you earlier. But let me just show you that once again. So that OAuth token expiry time goes here, the OAuth token goes here, the refresh token goes here. Now you're free to use the OAuth token and the refresh token as long as it is not expired. Okay, so this was the one part where you successfully store the data, OAuth token and refresh token, and you give back the success message to the user that everything is done, and the all of the further parts of refreshing the token will be automated. Okay, so now let's look at another function where we'll be refreshing the token just before it expires. Okay, so for refreshing auth tokens, this is how I'm doing it. You can do it another way. So what I do is I have a function refresh GHL auth token if needed. So I call this function each time any request comes in for accessing this location and its OAuth token. I make sure that the OAuth expiry time has not passed by. If it has, then I would refresh the token. I would update the database, and then I'll send back the updated tokens. You could also do something like you could set up a cron job to run every minute or every hour. Ideally, it should run every minute to make sure no stale tokens or expired tokens exist in your database. But you can do it this way also, where basically you have to just refresh tokens. You can do it either way you want. Okay, so over here The location ID is passed, will fetch the data for with the location ID, and will pick up the token expiry time over here. We'll match it with Unix expiry, current Unix time. If the current time is greater, then it would mean that we need to refresh the token. So that's what we'll be doing over here. Otherwise, we won't refresh the token. So it comes out of the if loop and directly goes over here. So no refresh is required. If the refresh is required, then this is what we are doing. The client ID and client secret go over here, and over here we'll be adding the refresh token which we fetch from the database. Okay, and the grant type will become refresh token. If you noticed earlier, it was not refresh token, it was access code or something like that. Okay, so then we'll again hit this endpoint, and again we will get a similar kind of response. So this time we will again get a new auth token and a new refresh token. So we need to store those two with a renewed GHL expiration time. So that's basically what we are doing. We are updating the database. We are updating that column for that location. We are updating the auth token, refresh token, and the expiry time, and also the optional fields token last refreshed on if we want to. Okay, so we update this and our job is done. So we can make by doing this we can make sure that we always have refreshed tokens in our database, and they can be accessed for usage within our code for any purposes, any business logic or anything, for accessing all of the GHL APIs for the scopes which we have granted authorization for in the marketplace. So yeah, that's it. uh, Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them.